Good morning, Year 3. It's Mrs. Ludlow and we're going to be doing our maths now. We've got arithmetic first thing. We've got your 3 bronze, silver and gold questions. So hopefully you've got your book ready, split up for you to do the best you can with these questions. The gold ones today are using families of of number sentences. So have a little look at those, because using your place value, you might be able to get some of those without doing like a really lengthy sum. Okay, especially for division. If you can use your number facts for smaller numbers that contain those, the bigger numbers that contain those, you might be able to make a shortcut using your place value. Okay, so pause your video and have a go at doing that now. Super. We're restarting with the answers now. We've got the 8 times table going on here, all in different backs and forwards, different order in the number sentences. So silver, there was a pattern here today, and the hundreds were going down in, the first number was going down in hundreds, and then the second number was going up or down in 40, then 50, so the differences was going up in 10. So one set of numbers is going down and the other set of numbers is going up, and there's definitely a pattern if you can spot it in those answers. So gold now, we've got those lovely ones. We've got 5. Talking about this number sentence, if you know 5 times 5 is 25, then you know that your place value can help here. Same as this one, if you've got 250 divided by 5, you know that it's 25 divided by 5 is 5. It's using this knowledge. It's actually using this, all of those there. They're really joined there. It's a little family, whole family with your place value, and you know if you count up in 50s 5 times, you'll come back to 250 rather than using a really long chunky method. Whatever works for you. Okay, so we're going to be starting with our little starter. You can do this on by thinking and talking it aloud, and be ready to check the answer with me in a second. I'll read it to you. Annie is 135 centimetres tall. Pip is 120 centimetres tall. How much taller is Annie than Pip? So we know she's the tallest because it tells us that. So we're trying to find the difference here. So that, what do we do when we know the difference? What's that operation? Are we adding or are we taking away? I leave the rest of that to you. Pause the video. And you're ready to restart, and hopefully you've got the answer of 15 is 135, take away 100 is 35, take away 20 is 15. Okay, so we're putting it back in the bottom here with the unit of measure, the centimetres on here, making sure we put those in. This is the core challenge for your starter. Got Poseidon here. What's he's measuring at? Who it's asking you to compare today. Poseidon has got a shell. Calypso has her shell. They're both measuring them. Who has the longest shell? And we can see, even though this one's pushed up to that side of the page to put you off, if you look at here, look at this one, looking at the measurements, that's coming up at, yep, that's 9 centimetres. This one comes up as 6 centimetres, so it's definitely Poseidon who has the longest shell there. So we get ready now to talk about the question that's on here. So reading it through and have a little think about what you might have to do in order to solve this. What skills have you got? What have you been doing this week to help you change or work this out? Okay. We've got Hannah has 5 metres of wool. What do we know about metres? Okay, have a little think about that. She uses 74 centimetres of it, so we might have to do a conversion there. How much wool did Hannah have left? So have a little think about that. What might we need to do? How are we going to solve it? So hopefully you've talked aloud. That would be really good. We're going to carry on learning about this one, how we're going to solve it. So did you think of any of these strategies? Well, we've got a bar model. We've started off with doing bar models this week again after a while from having done them, and there's no brackets in here today, so these are nice, simple, straightforward, using a ruler bar models into your books. So we've got, first of all, she's got 5 meters. That's the first fact. So we can do our longest one here of 5 meters. She has used 74 centimeters of it, and I'm just going to put a little tiny bit here because 74 centimeters is quite a lot smaller than 5 meters, and we can take that off. We can't compare those two first numbers, 5 and 74, because that means that stands for a lot, a much bigger number in centimeters. So it's always worth sort of just judging that, getting used to doing these yourself. So we're going to find, got a space here, there's less here, she's used some of this up, so there's less here. What operation, what calculation will we need to use to do this? Would it be an add, a take away to get this amount? It's smaller than the 5 meters, you can see that quite clearly. In order to get this sorted to start with, we're going to change this 5 meters into centimeters, okay, so that we can do the sum that we need to do. So we know that 1 meter equals 100 centimeters, 5 meters equals 500 centimeters. So we can use our knowledge. You can change that into 5 centimeters. Now they both use the same unit, so that 5 meters, you could even write that up there, equals 500 centimeters if you wanted to. And we're going to make the sum. So our number sentence here is going to be 500 take away the 74, and it's going to leave us with 426. Now you can work this out in your head, so mentally, just like you do with your arithmetic, or you can do an expanded method, which is how we've done them in class. Now I would suggest that because this number has got lots of zeros in it, you're taking a number away from that, you're going to be doing an awful lot of exchanging from the next 2 columns, which is quite tricky. So for this one, I would suggest that you use a mental method. Might not be able to do that all day. You know, that might be too hard to do. So we'll check out that as well. So 500 take away 70. And I know 100 take away 70 is 30, so I know that would be 500 take away 70 is 430. Then I can take away the 4, which brings me down to 426. And I use my mental skills to think of my number sentence and working backwards on there. That's fine if you want to start on 74 and work up to 500. That's another way of doing it, by counting on. It's those mental method. It's really down to you to find the one that works for you and to use that. Very individual. So we've put the 426 back in the top here into our bar model, and we know it's going to be centimetres because all of this is in centimetres now. So she's got 426 centimetres of all left. Now, supposing this person or whoever set this question has said, can you put this into, we want the answer, could be really fussy, we want the answer in metres and centimetres today. Can you put it back into metres and centimetres? Well, we can do that. We're amazing at this now. We can use a part whole model. And here we go with one on this side. Don't forget, you need to rule off down and make that section in your book today. That is your working out column. That would be really useful for any of this type of work, or your jottings of your calculations, or your expanded method for subtraction or addition. So 426, I'm going to partition that into 4. We know there's 400 centimetres, which would make 4 meters, and we put the rest of it over onto the other side, 26 centimetres, bringing this 4 meters down now, 4 meters and 26 centimetres. So that would be our final answer if the fussy person had told us to put it back into meters and centimetres, how they want their answer. Okay, guided practice now. You can write these into your book. Elliot had a 3 meter rope pause your video if you need to and write it down, or rewind. That's the beauty of videos, you can rewind if you haven't quite got it. So 3 meters of rope. He used some and he had 64 centimeters left, which compared to 3 meters, 64 is used quite a lot of this. So that's me using my estimating and my knowledge of measurements. How much rope did he use in meters and centimeters? Oh, this person's getting, this is somebody fussing about how they want their answer, but we need to do it. 3 meters of rope, so he's used some of it, so this answer is going to be smaller because he's got 64 centimeters left afterwards. So we know we're going to do an adding or a takeaway. You're absolutely right. Hopefully you've got that. That's a takeaway. So we're going to change these meters into centimeters again. 1 meter is 300. Sorry, 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So 3 meters equals 300 centimeters. So 300 take away 64. In my mental maths, 300 take away 60, 240. Take away 4, 236. Put that into my bar model, and now I've got my answer in centimetres, but this fussy question writer wants me to put it now back into meters and centimetres. Oh, we can do that. What are we going to use? We're going to use a part whole model. 236 centimetres, partitions into 200 centimetres, which is 2 meters, 36 centimeters parked on that side as well. Recombine them, we get 2 meters and 36 centimeters, and then we can put our answer right in at the end. And does it answer this? How much rope did he use in meters and centimeters? Well, we could put that into a number sentence. He had 2 meters and 36 centimeters of rope left. Okay, brilliant. Last one for guided practice before you start doing your independent work. We've got 2 little people here, very skinny legs. Lulu is 1 meter 36 centimeters and tall, and Holly right over here is 109 centimeters tall. How much taller is Lulu than Holly? Well, straight away you can see we've got 1 in meters and centimeters and 1 in centimeters on their own, so we're going to need to change one of those. Probably best to change them into the centimeters, the one with the smallest unit. Okay, so 1 meter 38 centimeters. She's not so big, this one, so we know that that's the tallest person. This is the one that's not so big, so we've got this space here. So what operation are we going to need to do? What calculation? We're going to need to do a subtraction for this one. Got 1 meter is 100 centimeters. 1 meter 38 is going to be 138 centimeters. I did a shortcut there. I could have done a part whole model for that, but I think I know that now, and I think I can do that without even needing a part whole model. But if you need your part whole models, do one in your working out column. So now we've got 138 take away 109, and this one's going to be quite tricky, because if I take away 100 from 138, I could do this. Take away 100, which leaves me with 38. Take away 9. Oh, I'm taking on 8. So I'm going to take away 9. So I know I'm going to need to adjust that. I'm going to need to exchange and do a little mental trick. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do my expanded method, because then we can see that exchange going on. So I've got 138 take away 109 is 29. I'm going to partition this out into hundreds, so we're expanding it this way into hundreds, tens and ones, and we're expanding this second number into hundreds, tens and ones, and we're lining them all up like a nice set of traffic lights. Do you remember doing that? A nice set of traffic lights, one under the other, so we put the answer down. Now straight away, so you just ignore that 20 and the 1, we had 8 take away 9, which you can't do. 8 take away 9. So we put one of those, we took one of the tens from the tens column and we put it into the ones column to make that 18. We've taken out that 10 here and we've removed it, reduced it to 20. So it's like those place value counters. You know, we've done a lot of exchanging with that. We did a lot of practice, so this should be coming back to you now. So now we've got 18 take away 9 equals 9. 20 take away 0 is 20. 100 take away 100 leaves you with nothing. We recombine this together and we can put our answer in here and in here. So our answer here is 29 centimetres. And then we've got Lulu is 29 centimetres taller than Holly, because that's how it's going to answer our question. So today we've got our superstar words, superstar steps to success going on here now. I've already said draw your working out column, use the ruler. Read those questions carefully. I always read them twice because I really sort of struggled with these when I was growing up. I really found them tricky. Now I read them twice and it goes somehow it goes in better. Choose that correct operation or that calculation. You either need to add or subtract with these today. There's no others in there. Think carefully what you need to do. Draw a bar model using a ruler. Write your number sentence and work out your answer. Use a mental method or an expanded written method. Don't make any mistakes though, because you've got all that bar models and everything, and then to make a little slip up, oh my goodness me. Include your unit of measure with your answer, and you use your part whole model to change between those units of measure if you need to. Okay, now when you look at your questions today, you have got 2 questions, because there are so many steps here to think about and to remember. There are a lot of different sections to these questions. Okay, you've got bar models, you've got there's a lot of different steps there. You've got part whole models, you've got expanded methods or mental methods for taking away or adding. So really think carefully about this, because if you make little mistakes on it, your final answer won't be right. So just do the steps that Mrs. Ludlow has shown you today, and you've been building up all these skills, and this is that where you're getting to. You're coming on so well with these. Just stick with it, because these are they are tricky, but you've only got 2 to do. Okay, so if you need to pause and do this rather than printing out, that's absolutely fine. You can write them out. Neat, accurate bar models for each problem, and using your working out area as well. So don't forget, you might need to change this into centimeters. You might need to change this one. We've got meters and kilometers. You know that 1,000 meter fact as well. 1,000 meters is 1 kilometer. So there's a little bit of trappy one here. So have a little go, and I hope you get on well with that today. Stick with it. You're doing so well, because these are really, I think, quite tricky words. Okay, tricky words, tricky work. All right, hope that goes well. Okay, speak to you soon.